Building approvals crash by nearly 30%. Is the housing boom over? Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee because we're going to talk about the latest building or dwelling approval figures from the ABS. Now they've crashed down by 27.9%, everyone. That's a big move. But you've got to remember, it's coming off the back of an insane surge driven by, well, government givvies, handouts, home builder funding that just sent the construction sector going nuts, and costs skyrocketing. I know. I'm doing a renovation now. I was hoping a recession, first one in 30 years, might be a good time to do a renovation, but woe is me, it wasn't. And it's a nightmare to get quotes, guys. Seriously. But we're getting there. Slowly but surely we're getting there. So let's have a look at this, everyone, because we've probably peaked and we're probably seeing the end of the construction boom. You know, I'll bring up, where is it? Where do I have those? Cash rate, consumer confidence, government. Here we go, building approval data. You can see that fall there. It's quite clear, everyone. Blue is total dwellings. Private sector homes have just fallen off a cliff, and dwellings excluding home have dropped down. But we look at the trend, you know, it's about 11,000 to 15,000. There you go. We're definitely well down on that. That spike is really clear, guys. It's really evident. That's government intervention there. That's everyone thinking they're getting a good deal, getting free money, but it's just the costs of construction projects inflated. It just drove up the costs. And the politicians don't give a shit. They don't care about that. They just want economic activity, and that's what they got. They got economic activity and votes. You want to look at the debt? We'll look at the debt. We'll look at the debt too. Okay? It doesn't come without a cost. This is future generations' work that they have to do. That's what taxes are. It's work. So, the total number of dwellings approved fell 27.9% in seasonally adjusted terms in January, following a 9% rise in December, according to data released by the ABS. Daniel Rossi, ABS Director of Construction Statistics, said the fall in the total number of dwellings approved in January was driven by a large fall for private sector dwellings excluding houses, which held 43.6%. Approvals for private sector homes also declined sharply, falling 17.5% in January, following a 0.3% decline in December. The series has now returned closer to historic levels, with the January result of 0.8% higher than the pre-pandemic level in January 2020. So we're going back to trend. Is that the lesson here? Everything goes back to trend. Across Australia, the number of dwelling approvals fell in Victoria 35.5%, South Australia 29.7%, New South Wales 25.9%, WA 19.9%, Tasmania 13.9%. And it rose slightly in Queensland. Go Queensland, yes! Up 0.5% in seasonally adjusted terms. Well, there you go, everyone. Approvals for private sector homes in all mainland states, South Australia, Victoria, West Australia, and Queensland, and New South Wales, season adjusted terms. So it fell everywhere, from 19.9% in SA down to 14% in New South Wales. The total value of building approvals fell 27.7% in January in season adjusted terms. The decrease was driven by a fall in the value of non-residential building approvals at 36.8%, following a 15% decline in December. The value of total residential building fell 22.8%, comprising of a 24.9% decline in the value of new residential buildings and 10% fall in alterations and additions. So I don't think anyone is surprised that this is what we're seeing. Okay, this here, everyone, this was a completely artificial boom done by government intervention in the market to bring projects forward. Now, this is the concern. If this keep going down as we move forward, because future work has been brought back in time. So then you might start to see some difficult times or more competition in the construction sector moving forward. If we jump here, let's have a look at some of the key stats. There we go. Yeah, nothing too surprising here. I mean, there. Look at that. How clear that is. Boom. You can't say that's not drastic, everyone. There's 2008. I remember that one. That's when, back at university, firms were laying off huge numbers of staff here in Brisbane. And it depended on what sector you were working in. I mean, I'm talking to people who are, big firms, piecemeal projects, smaller ones, and the problem is that's kind of where the work is at the moment. But the problem is you can't make much money on it. The time and energy is often the same that you spend on the big jobs, but the return isn't there. You kind of need to fit them in between the big jobs. Here's dwelling approval by building type. There you go. Down across the board except for Queensland. And that's units. Private sector homes down everywhere. So 8,712 homes. That was all that was approved. So they probably don't manage it they don't have the data coming out of there. So let's have a bit of a talk about this one, guys. Now, this is normal. This is what happens after you have government-generated good times. We've racked up a lot of debt for this. The government's taken a burden. Sure, they'll get a lot of it back in GST and economic stimulus, but still. The thing is there going to be ongoing damage to the sector resulting from this? I mean, it's overheated. You've got a lot of work put in there. Has the quality? The big concern is, are we going to see the same type of shit show that's come out of all of the apartments out of Sydney because they overheated the sector there? Like, the sector there went insane, the amount of apartment work that was happening, and we're seeing that happen again with the just overheating of the sector. Now, hopefully, the difference here is a big portion of the work is pretty much spec homes, and the complexity of this type of construction should be easier to manage. And the risk factor associated with it, with a spec home, okay, you got dodgy foundations, or you got cracked tiles, or roofing, or water comes in. It's a big deal to the person living there, but you could solve it, everyone. Here you got flooding in your house. You can get in there yourself and pull out all the plaster. You can do a lot of rectification work yourself if you really have to. Whereas if you're in a huge apartment building with a bunch of people in a body corporate and the building's falling over because of dodgy waterproofing getting in there and screwing the foundations or something, you're screwed. It's a completely different world. So I'm hopeful. Maybe I'm being naively hopeful that we're not going to see next 20 years' time a whole bunch of home builder disasters appearing. No more than normal. I mean, okay, some of these spec homes are built pretty bloody dodgy, guys, but that's what it is, isn't it? You just put up with it. And when you become a suburban dad, you have to learn how to repair things. Or you're thinking, oh shit, I paid a fortune for something that's just styrofoam. What the hell? Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts and your take on this one. How are you keeping busy? How is the work going if you're in the construction game? What's the pipeline? Here's the thing, you may be flat out now, but it's the next 6 months to 9 months that you've got to worry about what's coming in to keep the machine going. The joys of running a small business. Take care. Thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one in the comments down below. If you're a fan of the channel and want to support the content I put together here, there's a few ways you can help out. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon, sign up for SelfWealth or Stake, use our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. Thank you for watching, everyone. Take care. And I'll put you towards this video about tradies really getting done over by the pro-build collapse. It's the biggest collapse that's happened recently. I heard some rumors there that they quoted these jobs cheaper to sell it to the foreigners. What do you reckon?